Om Sri Aurobindo Mira is my refuge. Good morning, Namaste, Bande Matram. Welcome all of you. Today, this morning, the topic of this spiritual discussion is on Sri Krishna. So, we are going to discuss in brief on Krishna in the light of Mother and Sri Aurobindo's writings. The great topic we are going to discuss on Sri Krishna. It is Sri Krishna part 2. Of course, we have discussed Sri Krishna previously in part 1. This is the Sri Krishna part 2 of our discussion. We'll discuss everything in the writings of Mother and Sri Aurobindo in their lightings, in their light. We'll discuss in brief on Sri Krishna. Let me quote one message from Sri Aurobindo. Living in Krishna, living is in Krishna, even the enmity becomes the wrestling of the brothers. Just imagine how this Krishna consciousness, overmind consciousness, Anandamaya Chetana works here. So Sri Aurobindo speaks of one, I will give one example of his jail experience, God everywhere. I lay on the coarse blankets that were given me for a couch and felt the arms of Sri Krishna around me, the arms of my friend, my lover. Just imagine he was sleeping on the couch, given the I lay on the coarse blanket that were given on me for a couch and felt the arms of Sri Krishna around me, the arms of my lover and friend. I looked upon at the prisoners in the jail, the thieves, the murderers, the swindlers, and as I looked at them, I saw Vasudeva. It was Narayana, whom I found in those darkened souls and misused bodies. Just imagine how Krishna was related and how he was guiding in his sadhana. So today we are going to have a brief discussion on Krishna and his sonnets. We'll try to analyze in brief. Sri Krishna, Sri Aurobindo quotes here, a superhuman beauty has appeared upon earth. A superhuman beauty has appeared upon earth. Something more marvelous than the most marvelous bliss has brought a foretaste of its presence. Just imagine how he is writing. Something more marvelous than the most marvelous bliss has brought a foretaste of its presence. Marvelous, more marvelous than the most marvelous. Just imagine how this line is tilted and how Krishna has got his own importance in Sri Aurobindo's writing. One question was put and Sri Aurobindo was answering. There must be no ambiguity, no doubt between Sri Krishna and the mother, because Sri Krishna has brought you into the ashram, and if you worship Krishna, then mother is also worshipped. So if you remember Krishna, I will also be remembered. That's what Sri Aurobindo quotes here. And another definition in another verse Sri Aurobindo quotes here. Krishna is the Godhead of the Lord of Ananda. Krishna is as a Godhead of the Lord of Ananda, love and devotion. As an incarnation, he manifests in the union of wisdom, jnana. In the union of wisdom, as an incarnation, I want to quote it again. As an incarnation, he manifests the union of the wisdom and works and leads the earthly evolution through this towards union with the divine by Ananda, love and devotion. Because Sri Aurobindo has quoted already, Sri Krishna as a Godhead is the Lord of Ananda, love and devotion. Very beautiful, very accurately, minutely Sri Aurobindo has observed and has given these remarks on Krishna. Krishna as a Godhead of the Lord of Ananda, love and devotion. So also he has been given the status of the incarnation. As an incarnation, he admits, he manifests the union of wisdom and works and leads the earthly evolution through this towards the union with the divine by Ananda, love and devotion. So very minute observation, very good sonnet. We are going to take few lines from it. At last I find a meaning of soul's birth. Sri Aurobindo quotes. Very beautiful line. How this is just thrilling experience. You just again thrilling experience. How it is exciting. At last I find the meaning of the soul's birth into this universe, terrible and sweet. I who have felt the hungry heart of birth, aspiring beyond heaven and to Krishna's feet. Just imagine how the sonnet works in the initial 4 lines, first paragraph. At last I find a meaning of the soul's birth into this universe terrible and sweet. The universe is terrible and sweet. I who have felt the hungry heart of the birth, aspiring beyond heaven to Krishna's feet. I have seen the beauty of immortal eyes. I have seen the beauty of immortal eyes and heard the passion of the lover's flute. Just imagine how gloriously, how forcefully it is described. I have seen the beauty of the immortal eyes, and heard the passion of the lover's flute, that Bangsi Vadana, flute, and known the deathless ecstasy's surprise and sorrow in my heart forever mute, and sorrow forever in my heart is mute. Then the next ends, nearer and nearer now the music brings, nearer and nearer the music brings. Life shudders with a strange felicity. All nature is a wide enamored pause, hoping for Lord to touch, clasp, and to be. Just imagine. Never nearer and nearer now the music brings. New dreams it comes. So dreams. Life shudders with a strange felicity. All nature is a wide, enormous pause, hoping her Lord to touch and clasp and to be. And the last 2 lines here, Ravindo writes here, for this one moment lived the ages past, the world now throbs fulfilled in me at last. For this now one moment lived the ages past, the world now throbs fulfilled in me at last. World throbs in me fulfilled at last. Then about the Gita, Sri Aurobindo quotes here, Gita does not teach the disinterested permanence of duties, but following of the divine life. Then the abandonment of all dharmas, swadharma, sarva dharmam paritajya mamepam saranam vaja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mukhishyami amasucha. Sarva dharmam, you just leave all the religions of all the bases and take refuge in me. I will save you against everything. And the abandonment of all dharmas, swadharma, to take refuge in the Supreme alone. Then only take refuge in the Supreme, take mamev kam saranam braja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mukhishyami namasocha. Although Gita prefers action to inaction, so here the stress in Gita, the most emphasis on Gita is on action rather than to prefers action to inaction. It does not rule out the renunciation of works. Work has been given most importance here, but accept it as one of the ways to the divine. Even Sri Krishna has also, about his avatarhood, Sri Krishna has referred in Gita. While he was teaching, he was showing the Vishwarupa to Arjuna in the great battlefield of the Kurukshetra. परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतं धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. That we have listened for this swadharma and work, duty, everything is written. Then refuge, everything is written there. Then Sri Aurobindo quotes again, thou art the living hope in every heart of the all possible and future perfection. Sri Aurobindo quotes is, thou art the living hope in every heart of all possible and future perfection. All possible and future perfection, you are the hope in every heart. Then also Sri Aurobindo having another quotation, another beautiful message on Sri Krishna. At last I find the meaning of soul's birth into this universe terrible and sweet. I who have felt the hungry heart of earth, aspiring beyond heaven to Krishna's feet. Just imagine, I am repeating again how beautiful it is written, how beautiful it is there. So another sonnet also Sri Krishna has written on it is the caption is Krishna. O immense light and thou, O spirit wide, boundless space whom you clasped and hid, deathless limbs, gloried face. Just imagine how beautiful it is written. Vainly lie space and time, void are we, there is name, there is none. Vainly strive self and world, crying, I alone. One is there, self of self, soul of space. Just imagine how glorious definition, how certainty, how much certainty is there, how much definiteness is there. One is there, self of self, soul of soul, soul of space, fount of time, heart of hearts, mind of minds. He alone, alone seeds sublime. Just imagine before time, before this stanza, there was a beautiful line. Vainly lie space and time, vainly lie space and time, void we are, and there is none. And vainly strive self and world crying, the world is crying, I alone. But Sri Krishna, on Sri Krishna, Sri Aurobindo assures his presence, and his actually the divine presence, Sri Aurobindo assures. One is there, nothing to worry. One is there, self of self, soul of space, fount of time, heart of the hearts, and mind of the minds. He alone sees sublime. Oh, no void, absolute, so self-observed, splendid moments. Hands that clasp hold and red lips that kiss blow his flute. The flute is there, that there is red kiss, it is actually blown. All he loves, all he moves, all are his and all are he. Just imagine how the divine presence, the divine uncertainty, the divine grace, and divine presence is been described. All he loves, all he moves, all are his and all are he. Many limbs set by his whims bear his sweet ecstasy. To be two in one, two who know difference reach in sense, two in class, one to be his this his his strong mystery. Just imagine Sri Aurobindo has written in the collected works of the Sri Aurobindo in volume 2 page number 3 637. Just imagine Radha and Krishna forever entwined in bliss. The adorer and the adored, self lost and alone. Akarsayati iti Krishna, aradhayati iti Radha. So this the relation is that the Lord who allures, who attracts, he is Krishna. Akarsayati iti Krishna. And aradhayati iti Radha, who adore, who makes aradhana is known as Radha. So Krishna is one, the supreme soul, divine, and we are all the adorers. So here we are doing. And Mother has a nice, interesting description on Krishna. Krishna represents both universal Godhead and the immanent Godhead. Krishna represents both universal Godhead and immanent Godhead. He whom we can meet within one's being and in all that constitutes the manifested world, we can find him here. And do you want to know why he is always represented as a child? Because Mother is speaking, Krishna, the greatest God is my child, even Krishna is also my child. They are only kids before me, they are children before me. It's because he is in constant progression. To the extent that the world is perfected, his play is also perfected. For the perfection it is giving. Of course, Sri Aurobindo speaks of Sri Aurobindo belongs, Sri Krishna belongs to the overhead consciousness, overmind consciousness, the Anandamaya, not the supramental consciousness. Supramental consciousness is the after this overhead consciousness. Sri Krishna represents the overhead consciousness. What was the play of yesterday will no longer be the play of tomorrow. His play will become more and more harmonious, benign and joyful to the extent that the world becomes capable of responding it and enjoying it with the divine. Just imagine how Sri Aurobindo speaks of. Thank you.